The polling booth survey is a group interview method where respondents are selected using random sampling methods and brought together in homogeneous groups of 10 to 12 respondents. The researchers ask the survey questions and the respondents give their responses through a ballot box, similar to a polling booth used during elections. As this is a group interview method, the responses are group responses and hence individual responses of the respondents are anonymous and unlinked. This anonymity increases the sense of confidentiality among the respondents. Evidence shows that, in comparison to face-to-face interviews, respondents participating in polling booth surveys respond more honestly and correctly to questions in relation to sensitive and personal behaviors. The process starts with screening of the respondents for eligibility once they are selected as per the sampling list and mobilizing to a safe space for the group interview.
We have an outreach worker who is supposed to start that screening to ensure that the peers are here, because she's the one who communicates with the peer educators to ensure that they come. Once they come, she needs to verify if they are correct peers that have been selected to come for the polling booth survey. Once they've been selected, they pass that process of the outreach worker, they come to me as the research assistant. I also start the process. I verify if the names are correct, are the ones that are in that randomized list, the age, the hotspot. That one, I go further ahead to ensure that this is the right participant.
So after we've done the screening, basically comes two main components, which is training to ensure all the participants and who are going to be conducting the survey are aware on what a PBS is and what it entails to conducting. And the other part is logistics. So under the logistics, then there we come up and with the equipment.
The implementing organization sources cartons or boxes that serve as polling booths. Then they source 3 tiny containers, a green container, a red container, and a white container. These containers are placed inside the box or carton. The organization also has to source number cards. The numbers in the cards should be same as the number of questions in the PBS questionnaire. For example, if there are 30 questions in the PBS questionnaire and the PBS number cards should be 1 to 30 in number, each number card corresponds to 1 question in the questionnaire.
So then from there, there's also the logistics aspect of sourcing for a venue. Of course, for this event to be carried out, needs to be a place that can accommodate a number of people, and also as it's able to accommodate, we can also look into the guidelines for the COVID-19 and ensure we are also maintaining social distancing as we even conduct this activity.
Consent forms are given to each respondent and the researcher clearly explains in the local language what is on the consent form, and the participation in the survey is completely optional. Irrespective of their participation, they will get all the services that the project offers.
Mwanzo tunafanya utafiti. Tunataka kujua mienendo ama behaviors na trends. Si mnajua trends na behaviors huwa zinabadilika kila siku. For example, kama last year si tulikuwa tunaongea kuhusu HIV. This year tunaongea kuhusu nini? Corona, si ndio? Any personal information, that is majina ama chochote ambacho mtatuambia. Sawa sawa. So maswali mengine hapa ambayo nitauliza ni personal, ni maswali personal sana. Si anytime tunaongea kuhusu sex inakuanga kitu very personal, sio? Hii ni fomu ya idhini. Ndio maana niliwaambia msome. Sasa kuna mtu ambaye angetaka kujiondoa. Tumekubali sisi wote. Kama tumekubali, basi enda page ya mwisho. Page ya mwisho, page ya 3 hii. Alafu next kwa jina utapiga sahihi, signature. Okay, sawa. Haina shida, ni sawa.
The respondents then sign the consent form and hand them to the research assistant.
Because we are talking about sexual behavior, and most of these questions are usually very personal. So it's a question and answer things, but the way they answer the questions is very anonymous and very delinked. You can't link the answers to a particular individual. Everybody has like 3 boxes. Those 3 boxes are colored. We have a green one, we have a red one, and a white one. And then they have a stack of cards that are numbered according to the questions in the questionnaire. So if it's question number 1, then they respond with card number 1.
It is properly explained to the respondents to first raise the card corresponding to the question number in the questionnaire being asked. The researcher reads the question number 1 and asks the respondents to raise the card with number 1.
Tuinue vile nitaiona.
The researcher then asks the respondent to put the card with number 1 in the right boxes based on their answer. The researcher repeats if the answer to the question number 1 is yes for you, then put the card with number 1 in the green box. If the answer is no, put the card in the red box. If the question is not applicable to you, place the card in the white box. If you do not want to answer the question, put the card outside the box. The first question serves as a mock question to ascertain that the respondents have clearly understood the instructions.
Question number 1 naulizaje? Katika kipindi cha mwezi mmoja, nisikize tafadhali. Katika kipindi cha mwezi mmoja uliopita, umekula nanasi. Si tunajua nanasi ni nini? Pineapple. So, kama unajibu ndio, nimekula nanasi katika kipindi cha mwezi mmoja uliopita, utaweka hiyo card kwa box ya green. Sawa sawa. Kama unasema la, kipindi cha mwezi mmoja uliopita sijakula nanasi, utaweka kwa box ya red. Sawa sawa. Na kama haujawahi kula mananasi ama ukila huwa yanakudhuru, utaweka kwa box ya white. Sawa sawa. Tuweke. Kuna wakati ambapo ulikosa in the last 1 month. Kuna wakati ambapo haujatumia condom kwa sababu mwenzako alikataa. Kama hiyo ndio reason alikataa, utaweka kwa green. Kama kuna sababu nyingine yoyote, utaweka kwa red. Na kama umetumia condom kila wakati, utaweka kwa white.
This particular study had 39 questions which were asked one after the other, with respondents putting their yes or no answers for each question in the relevant boxes as directed.
Then after we are through with the questions, the question and answer session, then we collect all those boxes. That's what my colleagues behind me are doing.
The research assistants then collect the boxes and group them in 3 different colors. The number cards in each color type boxes are counted separately. The cards in the green boxes are taken out first and tallied as per the question numbers.
14, 15, 17.
This means that all question number 1 cards from the green boxes is put together to tally the number of question 1 cards in the green box. They are then counted and noted in the reporting sheet under yes, corresponding to question 1. Similarly, all other question number cards from the green box are tallied and noted under yes, corresponding to the question number in the reporting sheet. The same process is followed for the red boxes, and the same number cards are counted and tallied and reported under no, corresponding to the question number. Similar process is followed for the white boxes.
So what will come out of that particular exercise is that maybe question number 6, we had, of course we have 10 responses, but 5 of them said yes, 3 of them said no, and 2 of them said not applicable, okay? But there's no way for us at this end to link who said what. So that way the confidentiality and anonymity of the participants is protected.
Once this process is done, the research assistant completes the report. The researcher checks to see the number of yes, no, and do not know or not applicable against each question tallies to number of respondents. That means if there are 10 respondents, then against each question, the number under yes, no, and do not know should add up to 10. This is a very important quality check. Once the report is finalized, it is sent to the technical team for technical analysis. The data generated from the multiple PBS sessions is aggregated to provide site-wide estimates for the measurable indicators by the technical team. The feedback is also provided to the respondents, and a discussion is generated to understand reasons behind certain behaviors based on the quick analysis by the researcher.
So essentially we don't pay them per se, but we do compensate their transport and time spent, okay? And that is usually made very clear in the consenting in the informed consenting session.
These results are essentially very important because what they do is, one, they enable us to assess the effectiveness and the efficiency of our interventions in HIV prevention. Then the other thing that they enable us to do is to be able to measure the outcomes of our behavioral interventions, and we are able to assess whether the outcomes that are there from how they respond to the questions. We measure if these behavioral interventions for HIV prevention, are they being captured.
The polling booth method has been successfully used in several counties with a variety of subpopulations to measure behavioral and structural outcomes of a program. The method is rapid and cost-efficient and can be repeated annually. The method uses robust sampling methods, sometimes stratified by age or gender or other strata similar to other surveys. PBS reduces social desirability in responses, and the responses are unlinked and anonymous.